After 18 months of saying could, should, would, yesterday we had research published to show that COVID-19 is triggering MECFS in adolescents and young adults. With that in mind, I need to stress this morning. Long COVID has been given research funding by the UK government and other governments worldwide. Much of that money is either being spent on psychological research, which is inappropriate in my view, but also on post-ICU long COVID and the organ damage long COVID, which is absolutely fine. I don't begrudge them that money in the slightest. My concern is that the MECFS version of long COVID isn't being as adequately researched as it could be. With that in mind, because Foggy is unable to do his usual fundraising, I'm asking for your help. If anyone watching this has relatives with MECFS or long COVID is on your radar, or long COVID is on your radar and your doctor's told you may or may not have MECFS, if you know anybody that could do a fundraising something for ME research, please do get in touch with me. mefoggydog fundraises for Cure ME. They're also known as the MECFS Biobank. They hold tissue samples of patients. Those tissue samples enable research around the world, mainly in Europe because of the time it takes to travel with the samples, but it has global reach. I can't stress that enough. It's not just a UK facility, it's got global reach. And the team there are incredibly good at their job. And they work with funding, but not adequate funding from the NIH. And they also rely on donations. Now, Cure ME do not have a big team. They don't have a social media manager. They don't have a social media team. Although they are a charity, they don't organise fundraising events and stuff, which is why a lot of ME charities do send their biomedical research funding fundraised cash to them. mefoggydog fundraises for Cure ME because we do the promotion, the need for research, make people aware that Cure ME are there. So if you want to fundraise for Cure ME, please do so through mefoggydog. Every penny of money that we fundraise for through Just Giving goes directly to Cure ME. As a social enterprise, 50% of our profit or surplus goes to Cure ME, but when it comes to fundraising through a fundraising campaign or some kind of activity, 100% goes to Cure ME. And I can't stress this enough. ME experts, scientists, researchers at the start of the pandemic said they anticipated 10 million new cases of MECFS globally as a result of COVID-19. But as I say, there's been a lot of could, would, should, because any virus causes MECFS. I've been saying it since last March, that a percentage of people that get chronically sick will go on to develop MECFS. But I've had to say should, highly likely. But now this research study shows that it is happening. In the UK, we already had around 350,000. The official statistic is 250,000, but that's 10 years out of date. And we gain around 9,000 patients every year anyway. So it's likely to be over 350,000 now, and it's going to be a long time before we have some kind of census to work out how many. I wouldn't be surprised if we have at least 650,000 at the end of the pandemic. We shall see. So if the need for ME research, biomedical research, not psych, biomedical, as in what is wrong with our mitochondria? Why do we have post-exertional malaise? You know, what is that central thing that gets triggered to make us chronically sick? All of that needs looking at, and that's going to be very expensive. And getting drips and drabs of cash from government simply isn't cutting it. We need a lot of money for research because it is going to affect a heck of a lot of people. It was already affecting 1 in 500 before COVID-19. And now adolescents and young adults are getting it. Where is COVID circulating right now? And we're lifting restrictions on the 19th? To me, that's worrying. Because I know how devastating ME/CFS is, that's worrying. The only reason everybody else isn't worried is you don't know how bad ME/CFS can be. But yeah, so the need for fundraising has grown exponentially. We desperately need money. Because although we're kind of grasping at holding on to the coattails of long COVID, saying, oh, we're going to get breadcrumbs from long COVID. I'm sorry, but we've now proven by this research study that I'm going to attach to this post that COVID-19 is triggering ME/CFS. There's now a research paper to prove that. So yeah, please take a look at that and then recognise the need for this research, because to be frank, the reason everyone in the medical profession is struggling with long COVID is because they did not understand ME/CFS. Did not understand it because of a very poor knowledge base. And they've simply started from scratch and wondered why it's taking so long to get ahead of it. If you'd started with ME/CFS, that would have been a really good starting point. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Please do get in touch via mefoggydog@gmail.com if you could help with fundraising. That would be absolutely amazing, because it's going to be a while before Foggy can go globetrotting again because of the unstable travel industry, and I don't want to have to keep planning things and then rearranging for a whole year. No, can't cope with that. So please do get in touch if you can help. Thank you very much.